Hello and welcome to Atomic Geekdom. My name is Kyle yet again. And as always, with me is Dave. Dave, how you doing?
I'm fine. You couldn't have failed that more.
That's okay because I was caught off guard.
Yeah, you gotta be ready for anything.
Apparently, I have to.
You're the one that started it, so you should have known. You're in the left box.
Should have. Yeah, I should have. Hey, guess what?
There.
Andy's Candy.
Welcome to Atomic Kingdom. My name is Dave. Joining me as always is Kyle. That's how it's
Hey,
actually done. I think you would have known that by now. Only done 100 of these at minimum.
at minimum.
I am low energy today and low giving fucks, so this is going to be a tough episode to get through. So I will
Oh,
do my best to be cheery and bubbly and not as dickish, but I am in a bad mood. So, but we can't hold off anymore. We need to do this podcast. It has to get out because it's already, I would assume, in my opinion, late. But for those of you that have seen the Batman already, you don't have to worry. We are going to be spoiler heavy later when we talk about the Batman, so just beware of that. But if you've seen it already and you want to get our review, or if you want to get two other people as well, one other person's review, Justin from Two Broke Geeks and myself wrote a Four Eyes review on the website, atomiccube.com. You can go there and check that out. Also, there's the Nicholas Cage thing on the website, and then also the MCU retrospective that's being posted semi-weekly, something like that. So something for everybody over there at atomiccube.com. Otherwise, you can just subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your fine podcasts. Or you can subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, follow us on Facebook, and you can know when we go live and you can join the podcast live. um Lots of news to get into. Most of it is WBDC related.
yeah,
In particular, there's some Peacock Paramount stuff. I'm not really gonna get too far into the Star Trek news because well, a trailer debuted. We've been waiting for that show for like 3 years now. It seems like
mm-hmm.
the Discovery spinoff about Pike and Enterprise, which debuts in like a week or two, I think, on
Yeah.
Peacock. Although it was March. Well,
Nope.
there you go. Gotta wait even longer, 2 more months to finally get to a show that was probably supposed to debut 2 seasons ago from Discovery.
Probably.
Um, so there is that. Um, I mean, let's see. Do we just bury the note? We just go headlong into it. We're gonna talk Obi-Wan Kenobi. The trailer released today, hours ago, mere hours ago. Before we get into the trailer, news was announced that there was details on a character from the show, Reva. They're force sensitive Sith Inquisitor, but they're just calling them Inquisitors, I think. Described as ruthlessly ambitious, in search of Jedi and hiding, shares a common dark side goal with Darth Vader and the Grand Inquisitor, who I still, even with the trailer, I'm not clear if it's Jason Isaacs or not. I don't believe it is
It
because
doesn't look like him. I mean, it doesn't even
yeah,
sound like him.
no. The character is also described as all heart, which
Hmm.
means there's potential, and I kind of got it from the trailer myself that there's some possibility for redemption there for that character. Um, yeah, a lot of this details came out from an EW photo shoot that had a bunch of pictures and stuff that we got this morning as well.
Yep.
Obi-Wan Kenobi debuts on Disney Plus on May 25th, which is the 45th anniversary of Star Wars: A New Hope, otherwise known as just Star Wars back in the day. Um, but yeah, so we were expecting something today because it's Disney's shareholders type day. And so they were going to announce something. Some people thought we'd get trailers, show announcements. We didn't get nearly enough, I think, in my opinion, to make any shareholder excited for anything. But we did get one thing, and
Yeah.
it was a trailer.
I know last year's shareholder meeting is when they announced everything, but I think that was a special circumstance for 2021 and COVID, and now seeing that everything is opening back up, kind of a little bit returning to normal. I think they're like, okay, that we're gonna go have everything behind closed doors again. But
Sure.
yeah,
Why not?
this trailer was great. The music was awesome. A blend of Battle of Heroes and Duel of the Fates, and then yeah, no Kenobi lightsaber in the trailer, but in the on the EW uh, magazine cover, he's holding it. Young Luke.
Yeah, somebody said he looks just like Anakin. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You can hardly see him, other than
Yeah.
the fact that he's being a mentally he's being a dork, pretending he's flying
Hmm.
like Anakin would pretend he's pod racing, like whatever. Sith Inquisitors, that was pretty dope. I was happy to see that. Someone also said they were surprised at how much of the Empire they're seeing. I'm like, I'm not. You should see a
Yeah.
lot of
It's.
the Empire. This is their heyday right here.
Mhm.
They're fully in charge. You did get a look at Uncle Owen, him facing off with one of the Inquisitors, Riva, as it were. A new droid potentially working into the mix. On which side you don't know. The spinny Inquisitor lightsaber, the flat top Inquisitor guy that I've remember seeing in a few things.
Yeah, I think that might have been Benedict Wong.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Some green feathered bird things in a shootout. And then just no real speaking from Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan, just a lot of hopeless staring.
Hmm. And then Vader breathing in the background at the end.
Yeah, and then a special Disney Plus logo where the arch gets lightsabered in. So that's pretty special. So yeah, it's just an exciting couple minutes, 60 plus seconds of teasing for something we'll have to wait 2 months for.
Yeah.
But the cast looks like this. We've talked about it before, but we'll say it again. Hugh McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Hayden Christensen as Anakin / Darth Vader, Joel Edgerton as Owen Lars, Bonnie Picey as Baru, White Sun Lars, Rupert Friend as the Grand Inquisitor. So there you go. The highest ranking Inquisitor of the Galactic Empire. Moses Ingram as Reva, the third sister. Sung Kang as the fifth brother. And Indira Varma as an Imperial officer who you saw in the trailer as well. Um, all episodes will be written and directed by the same two people, Deborah Chow and Joby Harold. And additionally, Kumail Nanjiani, O'Shea Jackson Jr., and a couple other people. Maya Erskine. Why is that name familiar?
Oh,
No idea.
Erskine is the Captain America one. That's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah, probably Benny Safety. Softy. Oh, that's the meme about Uncut Gems. I inspired Benny Softy to write Uncut Gems. A young Luke Skywalker is also expected to appear. Guess what? He will
He appeared.
probably in that one moment, and then we move on with our lives.
Hmm.
A lot of people thought the story was going to take place about Obi-Wan saving a kidnapped young Leia. I mean, it still could be, but nothing in that trailer really led me to believe that.
Yeah, but
Aside
it
from him being on a graffiti-filled cyberpunk type planet,
yeah, and also, I mean, we're not spending the whole time on Tatooine, which I think would have been
which is
boring.
kind of what I just said.
Well, no, I mean, like it's like we got confirmation that it's not just on Tatooine anymore.
Right, which is what I just said about the cyberpunk planet.
Yeah, I know.
Remember when I
Yeah,
said
I
that?
know. I know.
So there you go. Star Wars news. Rejoice. There you go. That's the last real confirmed date of anything that we have for the Star Wars universe. We don't know when. We're getting Ahsoka, probably not till the end of the year or beginning of next year, is my guess. And Mandalorian probably will not be till October, if then. But that's really all we have. As far as television shows and even movies, there's no movies really on the horizon. There's announced stuff, but nothing in production really. So yeah. More geek news. Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan, two of my favorite actors. Will Smith, probably my favorite actor of all time. But they're finally going to be in a movie together, and it's a sequel to one of my favorite Will Smith movies, I Am Legend. So there you go. I'm excited.
Okay. So like a
Both
sequel prequel
no
sort of thing.
sequel. straight up sequel.
Did didn't Will Smith's character die at the end?
I don't know. I can't remember which was the uncut version and which one was the actual theatrical version. I can't remember which one is which anymore. That doesn't say anything about it being a prequel or a sequel.
Okay.
There's no director yet. It's just Akiva Goldsman is coming back to write it, who wrote the original. Um, Smith's Westbrook Studios and Jordan's Outlier Society are production companies involved. So I know it's the original writer, so I'm sure it'll be at least cohesive.
That's good.
More Quantum Leap reboot news. We got confirmation of the main character earlier last week or this
Yeah.
week. I don't remember when it was, to be perfectly honest. Raymond Lee was cast in the role to star in NBC's Quantum Leap reboot, which will air on NBC, but probably the pilot will air on NBC and probably go to Peacock after that. Is what it sounds like.
Hmm.
The character is Dr. Ben Song, I think is how it's pronounced, Song. He's the spiritual successor of Dr. Sam Beckett, played by Scott Bakula, the original time traveler. Song is described as both a world-renowned physicist, but also a man of faith. The potential show takes place 30 years after Sam disappeared in the time machine he created, the Quantum Leap Accelerator. Song will initially be a member of the new team before eventually using the accelerator to go back to the past, stuck in the 80s with amnesia.
Oh.
But there's no mention about whether someone on his team can communicate with him in the form of a hologram like the late Dean Stockwell's Al. The latest news, though, however, came yesterday, I believe, yesterday, the day before,
Mm-hmm.
in that Ernie Hudson of Ghostbusters fame and Psych, he's done a lot of Psych show stuff. It's Ernie Hudson, you know who he is. He's Winston Zedmore from Ghostbusters. He is cast to play a role in Quantum Leap. He will be Herbert Magic Williams, and I think anybody with a nickname is going to be the person that fills Al's shoes because Al was his nickname. It's not his real name. Al Calavici. Was his,
Anyone named Magic?
sure. Yeah. So 3 decades, blah blah blah. Let's see. Hudson will play Magic Williams, a Vietnam vet and head of the time travel project at Quantum Leap. He will use his skills as a politician and an officer to keep the Pentagon at bay after Song disappears into the Leap Accelerator, but he expects answers from Ben and the rest of the team. Given Hudson's status as leading character, the military experience of Magic, he could be filling the role of Al, played in earlier series, because Sam was stuck in the past. The only way Al could communicate with him was in the form of a hologram that only Sam could see and hear, which you get in the credits. I love the old school credits that gives you all the all the story you need. But Sam doesn't know, will his next leap be the leap home? And then it goes into the music. Yeah, great music.
And let me tell you, it is not.
It's amazing.
Years.
Bakula has had discussions with producers of the new Quantum Leap, but he is currently not involved with the pilot. So we just have to hope and pray that happens. I did read somewhere else too that Hudson's character is actually going to be a character that Sam leapt into in the past.
Okay.
I kind of dig that idea a lot, actually.
Did that ever happen on the original show?
Was Ernie Hudson in an episode of Quantum Leap? Is that what you're saying?
Did Scott Bakula ever jump into Dean Stockwell and in a younger body?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that was a huge story because it was before he left and like before the last time we would see his wife or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. Yeah. Wow. Ernie Hudson played Cyborg in a Superpowers team cartoon.
Oh.
In the
He
80s.
also played John Stewart, or not John Stewart. He played General Stewart on Arrow, which is Dig's stepfather.
Right.
So there's
which is why we found out the Stewart part of it.
Yep.
He did one episode of the 70s Incredible Hulk show.
Interesting.
One episode of the Dukes of Hazzard. An episode of Full House, Tales from the Crypt. He did not do an episode of Quantum Leap. I thought he did. I would have. It wouldn't have surprised me. He only did 2 episodes of Psych. I feel like he was in one of the movies, probably. Maybe not. He was in the MacGyver reboot as in one episode. Looks like.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you know who he is. And yeah, so looking forward to that show. News keeps coming out, so that's pretty dope. Video game news as we enter our WB side of things here, which will pretty much be the rest of the news that I have until we go to the review. WB Montreal sets an October release for Gotham Knights. That's the video game with Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Batgirl.
Assuming no more delays.
Right, October 25th is the prospective release date for that game, which they announced in 2020's DC's Fandom. And you can play it on PS4, 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, and Windows PC. So go ahead and real quickly go beat Elden Ring and keep complaining about how hard it is. Speaking of the other Gotham Knights, and that's the TV show that'll be on the CW, not a spinoff of Batwoman, apparently. So casting news. There's actually 2 sets of casting news. Was this one? Let me see. There's one today and one Monday.
Yep.
Okay, so Monday. Excuse me. One of my favorite comic book characters who was only really created recently, and I think it was Snyder. A Snyder creation. Both these characters were created by Snyder, but Harper Row is being played by Fallon Smythe. She's a blue-haired bisexual, also happens to be a gifted engineer. Streetwise, acerbic, and often underestimated. Her tech skills enable her to fix just about anything, and she primarily wants to fix the broken lives of her and her brother Cullen, played by Tyler DeChaira. He's transgender, hiding from an abusive parent, tired of being polite and agreeable, and ready to fight his own battles. Harper would eventually also become Bluebird, the superhero. Cullen's character is getting some tweaks from the comics. He's a male teen who was regularly bullied at school for being gay, so now he's transgender. So they kind of tweaked that a little bit. Gotham picks up in the aftermath of Batman's murder, and Bruce Wayne's rebellious adopted son is the prime suspect. The rebellious adopted son would not be Damian.
No, it sounds maybe like Jason.
Maybe. Gotham Knights writing team is mostly people that came from Batwoman, but it is not a spinoff of that series. Whatever.
I don't even
the new
Arrowverse.
It's Berlanti, so who knows? Tis Berlanti. They also cast Carrie Kelly and Duella Dent. Carrie Kelly is the Dark Knight Robin of the future / past, I guess. I don't know what you want to call her at this point anymore. Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, she was the Robin. And then Duella Dent was she was Joker's daughter. But let me just get into it here.
Born, at least for the TV show, she's born in Arkham, and Harvey Two-Face just leaves her, and then she gets all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Olivia Rose Keegan, Navia Robinson, and Oscar Morgan have booked leading roles on the show. 2 of these actors are playing familiar characters. Keegan will play Duella. Duella Dent debuted in the 70s under Joker's daughter alias, later claimed to be the daughter of Catwoman, Scarecrow, Riddler, Penguin, and Harvey Dent, hence the last name. The CW breakdown, which you just kind of mentioned, describes her as abrasive, unpredictable, and a little unhinged, but a survivor above everything else. Duella was born in Arkham and abandoned by her father, the most dangerous man in Gotham. Regardless, she forged herself into a brutal fighter and skilled thief. Robinson is playing Carrie Kelly, who also took the mantle of Robin and blah, blah, blah. This version of Carrie is fearless, idealistic, and plucky as hell. It successfully talked her way into becoming Batman's sidekick. If there's a burning building or a person in need, she's the first to rush in, just as long as she's home by curfew. What? Here we go. Morgan rounds out these new additions as Turner Hayes, a character created just for the show. Based on his description, it sounds like Turner is playing Bruce Wayne's adopted son in the pilot. After his biological parents were murdered, Turner is resilient and driven to live up to his billionaire adoptive father's name. He's also charming and soulful, but has never quite felt comfortable in this world of wealth and privilege. Sounds like Jason Todd.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds in the description there. Gotham Knights will have all of these characters team up after they get framed. All of them get framed for murder. Okay. So that's your Gotham Knights is Duella Dent, Robin, Turner Hayes, Harper Row, and her brother.
I don't think this series will last.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Good news coming out of the Batman's success is HBO Max officially ordered the Batman's Penguin spinoff to series.
Mm-hmm.
So Colin Farrell will be playing the character, and we'll be getting to know his gangster rise to fame within Gotham as the new mob boss. Really, there's a power vacuum as we leave things in the Batman. We'll talk about that.
So it's a sequel series.
Yeah, straight to series order a spinoff of Cobblepot's Rise to Power.
Okay.
Which is being developed under the working title of The Penguin, which why not? Another series was announced after the successful weekend of the Batman, and that is a series that takes place inside Arkham Asylum, which is a retooling of the previous spinoff that was going to be about the Gotham City PD.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just these two. There you go. The world that Matt Reeves created for The Batman is one that warrants a deeper gaze through the eyes of Oswald Cobblepot, added Colin Farrell. Couldn't be more excited about continuing the exploration of Oz as he rises through the darkened ranks to become the Penguin. Will be good to get him back on the streets of Gotham for a little madness and a little mayhem. There you go. Just kind of looking here, just to continue telling stories. So I have to imagine this is not a prequel. I don't want a prequel. I want to see what's next. If I'm being honest. I do have one bit of Sony Marvel news, which is kind of a lot. They just keep casting people for this Kraven Hunter movie. Actor of the Many Saints from the Many Saints of Newark, Alessandro Navoli, who I think he was one of the main characters. I'm in the middle of watching it right now, actually. Has joined Sony's Kraven the Hunter as the lead villain. Keep in mind, this is already a movie starring a lead villain. Kraven the Hunter is a bad guy.
And having another lead villain in the show with
right.
the Chameleon.
With the Chameleon, right. I mean, I'm not wrong, right? Kraven the Hunter was a bad guy.
Kraven the Hunter, yeah. I have a feeling they might make him out to be more like an anti-hero in this one.
Sure, why not?
But
anyway,
he's a villain.
This actor, Alessandro, is going to be playing Christopher Christopher Abbott is the actor's name. He played I don't know, what am I talking about here? Yes, Christopher Abbott is cast as the Foreigner. He'll be the film's main villain, the Foreigner, one of Spider-Man's bigger adversaries in the comics.
No,
that's hyperbole there. I don't know who's this quote is from, but they're trying to make this movie sound a little more important than it is. Within the Marvel universe, the Foreigner is a high-end mercenary assassin who was once married to Silver Sable, so there's an in for her. We can get introduced to her through this movie. He definitely presents himself as refined and debonair, but among Spider-Man villains, he's strictly C-list.
Yeah.
Additionally, the Foreigner has no powers of his own. Instead, he's in peak physical condition and extremely well trained. Aaron Taylor Johnson, yes, Quicksilver, is going to portray Kraven. Additionally, Fred Heckinger is rumored to be playing Kraven's half-brother, Dmitry Smerdyakov, aka the Chameleon. Ariana DeBose is believed to be playing Kraven's lover Calypso, and Russell Crowe is in the movie somehow. They don't say how or why. But this is all coming out in just under a year, January 13th. Set your clock. Set your clock by it. It's gonna happen, people. Excuse me. Too much carbonated beverages. Blue Beetle movie casting news. Malegra Reyes has been cast to join the show. She's the sister of Jaime Reyes. Belisa Escobedo will play her. The character has previously been in the Teen Titans Judas Contract, voiced by Kari Walgren, in the Injustice 2 video game. This actress has been in Hulu's Sex Appeal and Quibi's Don't Look Deeper. Quibi, is that still a thing? Anyway. Let's see. Other characters?
How long is it gonna take? Oh, just a Quibi.
Bruna Marquezine will play Penny, Jaime's love interest, described as the female lead. It's not clear if she's directly based on the comic character, though it's possible she could be Penny Booker, the daughter of villain Major Disaster. Marquezine, who has acted since the age of 7, is mostly known for telenovelas. Finally, What We Do in the Shadows and Reacher actor Harvey Guillen will join the production in a secret role. He's only 5 years older than the previously mentioned actress, which makes it unlikely he play a Major Disaster to her Penny. And then Cobra Kai's Zolo Maraduena stars as Jaime Reyes, teenager who bonds with an alien scarab that fuses to his spine and gives him powered armor. This film gets its theatrical release in August 18 of next year, maybe. And I say maybe because the WB, I mean, that is theatrical, not HBO. So,
yeah, it was HBO Max. Then they moved it to theatrical.
All right, Batgirl's getting ripped off. I'm just saying. From what I've seen from the set too, as far as the Firefly pictures, man.
Yeah, but who knows?
Seen this casting?
Is that supposedly happening in 2023?
Batgirl is rumored to be end of this year.
That's a mistake. It's probably going to get pushed.
I said rumored, but it is a different production. It's HBO production, not studios.
It is, but I mean, with who's in it and with what you're about to say, I could see it happening in 2023.
I don't know. Nobody in that movie is involved with any of these shows.
Really?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, but that doesn't make sense. See, the whole Captain Marvel or Shazam of it all doesn't make sense to me either. With Black Adam, you're gonna do 2 Captain anyway. All right, WB delays Black Adam, Flash, and Aquaman 2, and they bumped up not just Shazam, but the long-awaited DC's League of Super Pets. Everybody's just anxious for that cute, adorable movie where Keanu Reeves plays Superman.
Keanu Reeves plays Batman.
Batman, I'm sorry, yeah. I forgot the name of the guy. The Rock plays Superman. Or the Superman's dog. One of the two. I freaking can't remember who plays what anymore, and I don't care. It does look cute, does look funny, but at the same time, it's a kids movie, so let's just take it for what it is. That's fine. They need to have these kinds of things. Because I mean, I remember when when Batman the animated series came out and there were toys and stuff, and I was excited to get the toys. I don't know many kids that would be excited to get toys for the Batman. And Kevin Smith made a joke about it last night when I was watching his review of this movie, and it is true. Like, are you gonna grab the Batman and just start beating up your other characters, other toys, saying, "I am vengeance, I am vengeance, my parents are dead"? Like, it's just pretty grim. This Batman and previous Batman, I mean, Dark Knight's not much better, is not conducive with toy releases. I mean, they look cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to buy the Hot Toys Batman. It looks dope, dude. It looks so dope.
Nice. I can't fathom spending that much money.
You gotta do the layaway plan, man. It's like $50 per payment, and then it softens the blow.
Yeah,
I know, dude. Some of the Star Wars ones are like $200 now, and I'm just like, I'm gonna buy it. The Ahsoka one I want, and yeah, I made a whole wish list last night. I just went down a rabbit hole. I've only gotten one like high end toy from them, and that's been the Baby Groot. and it's life size Baby Groot. So
I would love a Hot Toys, but it's that price tag that it's just like, oh, you're expensive.
I mean, it's just getting worse because things like this, I gotta be able to see my camera, are now going up in price to like $24.99 per
Yep.
instead of 20 or instead of $19.99. I mean, I'll be honest, that is a good looking toy,
Hmm.
and I do love the old school packaging, which is enormous compared to how they used to be. Scarlet West Coast Avengers.
Just wait for the Hawkeye one.
And then I got this from eBay,
Ooh, that's a that's a
a little yellowed.
yellow. Yeah, but that's like my Kyle Katarn on the wall. That plastic is yellow from the sun,
Everything's yellow.
and we're all
Yeah.
yellow.
Anyway, yes. So dates now. Flash and Aquaman are not coming out this year, November, December, as previously expected. Instead, Aquaman will come out on March 17th of next year. Flash is moving all the way to June 23rd of next year. Meanwhile, Dwayne Johnson is still appearing in not one but two big DC movies this year, but both of them arriving a few months late. Johnson's first go around as Black Adam will now hit theaters October 21st, which I believe is when Flash was originally going to come out. Meanwhile, the film's original July 29th release date will be filled with DC League of Super Pets.
Ooh.
So,
And then
yeah.
a month
But then,
after,
let's see, the studio also confirmed that Shazam Fury of the Gods is moving from my birthday next year to December 16th of this year, which was previously held by Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
did they give a reason as to why these dates moved? I know James Wan posted on Instagram saying, I'm glad for more time. It'll give me a lot more editing time. So, but did they?
I'm guessing they're trying to fix some things.
Hmm,
I'm hoping they're realizing that just making these movies one-offs are better than
maybe.
and having a shared universe just be mentioned and not seen so often is a better way of doing things. Like Matt Reeves said, if the Batman that he did was going to be set in a shared universe, he wasn't going to do it.
Hmm.
And I get it. There's enough characters and source material for the Batman to exist on his own world. But I mean, I think we've been confirmed now that this Batman movie is Earth 2, I think they're saying.
Yeah, their version of Earth 2.
Right. All right, so that's it. That's the news I have. So I guess we set up the warnings here and dive headfirst into a review of the Batman. I would play the music if I didn't think it would get us kicked off of YouTube and Twitch right now, but the soundtrack is out there on Spotify.
Hmm.
It's a good driving listen. Um,
Yes.
it's just good all around. Let's just put it that way.
I'm
Um,
speaking of music. I'm listening to Dolby's podcast with Matt Reeves and Michael. I'm gonna butcher his last name.
Giacchino.
Giacchino. Uh, on like the sound, like sound mixing and music of the Batman. So it's pretty interesting too, because I guess Giacchino created the theme for the Batman well before Robert Pattinson got the role. So when they did the screen test for Pattinson, they played the theme for him then and there. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That's cool. If I remember right, and we're getting a new Batman animated series that's kind of inspired by the movie, if I remember correctly.
It's inspired but not as set in the
Right.
same.
Yeah. But the same thing happened with the animated series originally. It was
Right.
inspired by, but not set in the '89 version, and that theme
Beware the
music was
Caped
kind of
Crusader
yeah,
with Matt
yeah.
Reeves.
I was very hesitant about the costume with the collar, and now honestly, I don't think I would like it without it.
Yeah, no, the collar
Um,
works
I
for it.
I think the collar is dope. Really like the collar. I like this costume a lot. You didn't see it right away, but you would see it eventually of him taking off the batarang and using that not really even as a batarang, but to cut things.
Yeah.
Um, more than anything else. So yes, the Batman, directed and written by Matt Reeves, who also wrote it with Peter Craig. Stars Robert Pattinson as the Caped Crusader alongside Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle / Catwoman, Paul Dano as the Riddler, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, John Turturro as Carmine Falcone, used finally in the right way, I think, in a movie, Carmine
Hmm.
Falcone. Peter Sarsgaard, who I'm a big fan of as an actor, he got to be in this movie. I'm pretty excited for. Small role, but he's Gil Colson. He's the current or was the current district attorney. Um, Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth, Colin Farrell as Oswald Oz Cobblepot / the Penguin, and then Jamie Lawson plays Bella Real, a mayoral candidate for Gotham City. You got to see a lot of the PD corruption, and not just PD corruption, but the citywide corruption in this
Hmm.
movie, which is what you need to see because that's what really inspires Bruce to do this. Is nobody can be trusted to help the city, and he only trusts Gordon. We don't see how, but there is a book that you can get that kind of shows parts of year one, and then also the backstory of a little bit of the Riddler as well. Um, it's like a 200-page book. It's I might pick it up as an audiobook or something, but
Yeah.
um, so you get a little backstory there. This is entering year 3. I keep hearing people say it's year 2, but he said I've had 2 nights or 2 years of nights. So we're entering year 3.
Hmm.
This I would call it year 3.
I would I
um,
would definitely call it year 3. Yeah.
yeah. So you can tell he's done. They're afraid of him. They don't know what to really think of him, other than when that bat signal comes up and there's shadows and darkness around them. You're afraid.
Yeah, they're afraid of him, but there's some of the like thugs that don't know who he is, which after 2 years you'd think that, I mean, everyone would know.
It's still rumor because there's no pictures of him. They don't know. All it is and these are tough guys who want to look good in front of their friends. They don't want to say they got beat up by one dude dressed as a bat. So
Who are
they
you
probably
supposed to
over
be?
exaggerate. Yeah, they're over exaggerating things, and but I mean, he took on those 6 guys like you saw in the trailer. The amount of times that I saw Batman get shot in this movie was a little alarming. Of how many times he got shot,
Hmm.
and how many times they didn't realize to finally just aim for the head. Um,
Yeah.
but at the same time, he does protect his face and head pretty well when he fights. But he's not super fast like the Flash or Superman. He's not going to be able to dodge a bullet. You fire at his head, he's going to get lucky sometimes and block him with his gauntlets, but not always.
Hmm.
So that's just one of those logic flaws where I can look beyond it because let's be real here, it's a comic book movie. And these are the stormtroopers of Gotham City, so their aim is not going to be great. They're basically just firing to get him away from them, not even really trying to kill him, just trying to get him to back off. And you know, my thing is they're just hoping to survive, not getting punched in the face 700 times. Um. So yeah, I loved that aspect of the shadows, and then hearing the footsteps, and he comes out of the shadow, and like I like the memes that are coming out of it, like on TikTok and stuff. I think those are pretty hilarious. There was one I saw. I didn't send it to you, or I might have sent it to you with a husband and wife. They're like, "You want to see the Batman?" She's like, "I don't know." They
Yes.
go and
Yes.
see it, and then after that, she's like dressed as Batman, and she's like, I found a clue." And it's just like I don't remember what it was, like a gift, like a birthday card or something. What do you think it means?
It's the birthday.
It's there's some really funny stuff coming out of it. Um, and then I like all of the people that are like making fun of the haters, like, "Oh, what do you got now, Marvel?" Like, you can like both, guys.
Hmm.
They're two different things. A Marvel movie and a Batman movie are not going to be the same. And then the people saying this movie doesn't have enough humor, or people saying that
Yeah.
Marvel fans think it doesn't have enough humor. There's plenty of humor there. You just gotta pay attention.
Thumb drive.
Yeah, it's about the driest joke and pretty dark, but
Yeah.
it's in there. There's a lot of that stuff in there. Like you can tell that it's the first time he disappeared on Gordon at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just gone when he realizes that the bomb is at his house, probably. And he's just gone. He did it again. He did it like earlier in the or to Selena, I think, or something. I don't know. Like it's you can clearly tell it's like one of the first times he's done it to these people, and it's funny because we all know he does what he does. It's just that's his out. Um, I enjoyed the car stalling when he's making this big show of how powerful his automobile is in the alley, and he's about ready to drive off, and then it stalls on him as if he didn't get the clutch down in time. You look confused.
I thought of it as more like a scare tactic. I didn't think of it as stalling. Like it was
I
like,
don't
oh
know. See, now we're doing what Mark Bernard and Kevin Smith did because Kevin Smith thought that too. He thought it was
oh
like, he's like,
really?
what? Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
Like he thought it was like that.
I mean, both times that's
But me
exactly
and
what
me
I
and
thought.
me and Mark both took it as a mistake, which I'm fine with if it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine either way because if it was a mistake, it looks like it was like a jerk motion, being like, okay, I'm ready to go. But who knows? We'll ask the director one day.
Sure, sure. One thing the director did make clear is that the governor's son or mayor's son is not going to be a Robin. Which,
God,
come on, people, he still has his mom.
yeah, yeah, we don't.
Bruce is not just gonna adopt a kid that's got a mom still. But
No.
Reeves, I think Reeves and Pattinson both said if they do Robin, they have to do it the right way and they have to do it as a 13-year-old. Now, the issue with that in cinema is in what right mind are you gonna let a 13-year-old go and fight crime with you in the city? But what leads me to believe that this could happen is what was the comic book reason for bringing Robin in?
It was to make Batman uh not seem so dark, not seem so fearful.
To the people he's saving.
Hmm. Which
And
you
that's what
saw at when he saved that guy from the face paint gang.
in the sub, yeah, right. At the beginning of the movie, the first time you see him interact with criminals,
Hmm.
he's don't hurt me, and you're like, dude, he just saved your life. What do you mean hurt you?
Yeah,
And then you
it,
see it at the end. You see it at the end when he talks about how it's changed him. And now he's not vengeance. He needs to be something better. He's got to be a sign of hope, and that's where Robin fits into that as well. Is you have this kid who's now he's going to bring a little bit of different attitude to the proceedings, and it's going to comfort the people that are there, or they're going to be like, dude, get this kid away from him, like But anyway,
yeah,
I felt that pretty
it
strongly
reminded
at the end of
me.
that movie.
It reminded me of New Frontier, where
Yeah, yeah,
where he's saving the girl from the cult, but then
right.
when later
And
on,
he's like, what's with the kid? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like yeah, that's perfect.
Uh, yeah, and I felt that at the end, especially when he says I need to become something more. I got to become a sign of hope, not something they're afraid of. I felt that, man, when he's leading them out of the water.
Yeah, with the
That
flare.
was
Yeah, that was.
outstanding scene.
Mhm.
Yeah, top notch cinematography in this movie. Matt Reeves is outstanding. If you didn't like his work in Cloverfield, this is the man that did Cloverfield and the shaky cam and all that stuff. I don't know. I
Which I'm
loved it.
which I'm glad there really wasn't much shaky cam in this.
No,
There was a
he's
lot of track motion, especially with the wingsuit. That looked great. But
they wanted to do that hallway scene where it's like lit just by the gunfire.
mhm.
The fight scene. He imagined that being CG, but the stunt guy's like, no, we'll do it. And so they did that fight scene just lit by the muzzle flash. That's I
which
think that's the final fight with Falcone where Selena's up there. I think.
mhm. Which now, after what happened with Alec Baldwin, I'm weary of anything with muzzle flashes.
Well, yeah, you got to know what you're doing. You got to have
Mhm.
some very careful set work.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was again. Not saying it's Alec Baldwin's fault, but I'm just saying
Right.
like anything's possible. I mean, Brandon Lee, that happened too. So
And that wasn't muzzle flash. That was just a loaded round in a gun.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, something outside of the movie that lends me to a lot of faith into the future of it that I didn't know going into it is just how much Robert Pattinson loves the source material.
Hmm.
Just in all these interviews and stuff, like they ask him all these questions, and like him and Paul Dano seem to have loved the stuff that they were given to like research for this role. And like Robert Pattinson's telling all of them, like I think it was an interview with 4 of them. So I think it was Zoe Kravitz, um,
Paul Dano and Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright, and then he's like, "Yeah, you guys got to read Court of Owls." And like there was a hint at it just on one of the cards. There was an owl on the card.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was really the only hint, other than talking about the Arkhams and the families of Gotham. I think that's another subtle Easter egg too. Other than that, there really wasn't much Court of Owls stuff that I would hope for.
Yeah.
I got enough. I think that that owl, I think it wasn't an accident. I think it's just a small Easter egg. Maybe just a nod. They could go that direction if they want to, but they're not necessarily bound to.
I could see
There,
the Court of Owls playing a big part in like the rebuilding of Gotham in the sequel if it ever gets greenlit.
right, yeah, if right, if um I do love the attitude right now of Matt Reeves though. Like let's just focus on this one and hope we get a second one.
Yeah.
And then I saw Robert Pattinson go like hiding in screenings and then coming out and saying hello to everybody, saying I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's get a sequel, right? Let's get ourselves a sequel. I love that, man. He's out there seeing the movie. He must be very excited about this movie. I mean, I like that energy. I think it's cool. He's really made me a fan
Mm-hmm.
of his, not not that I had anything against him. I mean, he did some stupid Twilight movies, but you got to work, you got to put money in your account. You got to. I mean, I can't blame him for poor writing. He's just in the movies.
From what I've heard, his indie stuff is really good.
Tenet, he's really good in Tenet.
Yeah. I guess Matt Reeves was disappointed that he took Tenet just because he's like, oh no, I need him to be Batman.
You didn't hear the casting story with that?
I think
he auditioned for Batman while filming Tenet.
Oh.
He told Christopher Nolan he had a family emergency, goes and auditions for Tenet, comes back, and Nolan's like, "Did you audition for the Batman?" He's like, yeah. Like, how did you think I wouldn't find out? Yeah, I heard that when Tenet came out. I heard that. That was when they were interviewing Nolan and him a lot. But yeah. I don't know what, like, where do we go from talking about, like, what did you enjoy most? Like, what aspects of first of all, did you like it?
Yes, twice.
How many times have you seen it? Twice. Okay.
I saw it saw it back-to-back days. So definitely, I could tell you my second experience was better than the first, seat-wise, but we all know that. But yeah, no, the voiceover in the beginning and at the end was fantastic. I love
not just the voiceover, but how they justified it. He's this is an experiment. This is the Gotham experiment, the Batman. And he's keeping a journal of everything, and he's filming everything with his contacts so that he can go back and look at things, like not just the detective side of things. He can review what he's done and how he's acted and how, all these things. And he's writing this journal. And like you said, he's this voiceover narration, which you get in the comic books all the time. And I feel like it's been done in the movies seldomly, but then they go away from it. Like it might be the beginning, like maybe you hear Bruce or Ben. I feel like Ben Affleck did it. In either BVS or Justice League.
No,
I feel like I can remember.
This is the first time that this voiceover like this.
They've never done it. Like bailed into it.
No,
like that. That doesn't surprise me. So there you go. That's why I loved it right away. Like
the Burton Schumacher films definitely didn't have it.
I knew they didn't do it. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. But that's how the comics are written. You're written from, and that's also a reason why Robin was introduced, so he had someone to talk to, and so he's not just inner monologuing the hell out of the comic book. And so like, I thought that was fantastic. It works so well, and you have to get a voice for that inner monologue. You have to maintain that voice, and which voice do you use? And for him, right now in that story, Bruce Wayne doesn't exist. And for the people complaining about the lack of Bruce Wayne in this movie, you missed the point. He's just the bad. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Just wish he cut his hair a little bit.
I don't know. The emo look worked.
Yeah, it's just hard in that cowl to have all that hair. But no,
He
no,
made it
yeah,
work.
he's definitely Batman more than Bruce. Bruce Wayne is the secret, or is the costume.
Well,
Batman
right.
is
It would.
the.
It doesn't make sense to him. There's no point for him to be the playboy Bruce Wayne or to come up with that persona right now.
Mhm.
Now it does. Now he needs to have Bruce Wayne be more part of the city after seeing what everything is. Seeing the guy, like, I know that guy has to be Joe Chill, right?
Oh, that
The guy
that
at the
guy's
funeral.
definitely Joe Chill.
It's got to
The
be
way
Joe Chill.
the way he moved back and it got dark on his face. Yeah, no, that's Joe Chill.
Right. Joe Chill, for those that don't know, in the comic books, is the person that kills Bruce's parents. It's not
Mhm.
the Joker, as the
Jack
Joker by
Napier.
right Jack Napier, from Tim Burton's Batman. Yes. Yes. So, and he was hired by a gangster to do it, or was he? Um. So yeah, go ahead, continue. Yeah, the narration is great. A nice touch, beginning and the end, and then you see him writing in the journal, and
Mhm.
that's how they kind of explain the narration of it.
I've got some notes. The Batmobile, the coolest sounding Batmobile to date. I want it. Uh, the comedy that there was great. Again, the thumb drive makes the movie.
Get some gallows humor there. Yeah.
Pretty much every performance, the bleakness, going back to Arkham. Uh, Bloodhaven is mentioned. Just the way it was shot. Some of those shots are just beautiful. When Batman is on the rooftop of that abandoned building with the bat signal and he's just looking out, I know that was like it looked like I think like DC's version of the volume. That
Yeah, they had. Yeah, I saw behind the scenes footage. They have that.
Yeah. So and that looked great. Like you didn't even
Yeah.
if you didn't know, like thought they just shot it out in the open. Um the GCPD aiming a spotlight down at the criminals so that they look up and see the bat signal, if intentional or not, worked great.
Yeah.
And then the stomping in the dark in the for those footsteps.
Right. Yeah.
And
All is
Paul
good.
Dano, John
Chituro,
Turturro.
very very sneaky, sir.
Yes, Jesus.
What?
Eh,
He's
he's not
guy
Jesus?
from Mr. Deeds.
Is he not also Jesus
I don't
in
think so.
Mr. Big Lebowski?
Okay. Like, what are you talking about?
Jesus, the bull. Okay.
I'm not a Lebowski. I'm not a Lebowski guy. Go ahead.
And that's all. That's all for the good stuff, which is still a lot.
Yeah.
But I do. I think I don't. I don't know if I'll see this again in the theaters. And I might wait until it pops up on HBO Max, which they did say 45 days after
Right.
the day of release, but that could all change. I mean, because we've seen with Spider-Man, it didn't. It's taken till this month for them to release it to streaming. So
Uh.
who knows?
Yeah. What? Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, overall this is not only my favorite Batman movie, this is going to be one of my favorite movies.
Hmm.
It's inspired heavily by movies I love like Seven and Zodiac. The, the aspect of the detective in there is great. I love when they get it wrong. And it's because of it's because Bruce trusted Alfred's translation
Yeah,
of Larata Tala or whatever.
what's a lotta?
Yeah, he thought it was L and not La. And that came from Alfred. That didn't come from Bruce. That didn't come from anybody else. I did like that Alfred and Bruce are at odds with each other. They're not that close yet, and I feel like that's accurate. I feel like they wouldn't be. I don't think Alfred would want this for him, and it would have done it reluctantly. But also to protect Bruce. You know, I can teach you how to defend yourself since you're going to do it anyway. I might as well be part of it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a lot of Batman Earth One
yeah,
with
and that's
uh,
not to say that it's not to say that they're going to get close. I mean, you could tell that that relationship changed big time after Bruce learned the truth about his family, and Alfred was in the hospital. Like it kind of spun around on its head. Like, okay, Alfred's going to mean a lot more to him going forward, I think,
mhm.
than he had. He also realized how important Alfred was to his father with the cufflinks and all these things. So I enjoyed that. I love the relationship between him and Gordon. I thought that was really well done. The scene where he has to pretend like he's angry at Batman and he's yelling at him and talking in this weird way and all these things was hilarious. And then he has to punch him in the face. I thought that was great.
You
Uh,
could, at least could have pulled your punch. I
I
did.
did. Right. It's good.
How can they say there's no humor?
Every time the cops would second guess Gordon bringing him in there, like he's contaminating evidence. He's wearing
Bring
gloves.
gloves. Think
Like,
about
and then yeah, he like knew things that the cops didn't know and stuff. I did take exception last night when I watched a little bit. I didn't watch all of the Fat Man on Batman, or I guess it's Fat Man Beyond. They call this. So they
mhm,
did it from the
the
Star Wars Cantina thing in
cantina.
L.A. And they talked about him not being a good detective in the movie. That
Well,
they Mark Bernard and made the comparison to this movie to to Indiana Jones in Raiders, where that movie would have happened with or without Indiana Jones.
no, this movie would have happened. This movie still would have happened with Batman. What I think he's thinking of is if you take Joker out of the Dark Knight, you just have Batman with a mob movie.
Right.
You, I think my friend said it best. Let me see if I can
So
find.
if I think along his line of thinking, right, if you take Batman out of this movie, what do you have? Well, one, you don't have the Riddler playing the games the way he's playing them,
Hmm.
because the Riddler uses Batman in a way that he thinks is a partnership to bring the truth to light. I mean, you see how distraught he gets when it fails,
Yeah.
even though he
Yeah.
succeeds.
Yeah. You take Heath out of the Dark Knight, and you have a mediocre mob movie. You take the Riddler out of this, and you still have a movie about Batman uncovering the truth of his heritage. Falcone was a bastard in this movie, not just a bad mob man like in Dark Knight. There is no character there. Just drive the plot forward and be a bad punchy bag for the bat.
Yeah, without the Riddler in this movie, you have Batman going up against the mob,
Hmm.
but in a better way than the Dark Knight because you have a fleshed out Falcone who is actual murdering mobster running the city. Like he actually runs Gotham.
Yeah.
He's got all of these puppets around him. The commissioner, the police chief. No, it was the commissioner who was Gordon's
I
partner.
Yeah, and then there's the police chief who is apparently above him, which
Well,
I
that he lives. He wasn't part of the corruption. He was the guy that was blaming the death of the district attorney on
on
Batman.
Batman, yeah.
Yeah. And then you had the shady cop that got punched in the nose, who also worked at the Iceberg Lounge.
Hmm.
Um, the DA. Who am I forgetting? Oh, the mayor.
Yeah.
At the beginning. At the beginning. Um,
The Riddler
which
entrance is great.
yeah, dude. Yeah, there was a lot of jumps there. I feel like anything I see on TikTok where there's trying to they're forcing that Marvel moment in the audience. There's no
Yeah,
real
I hate
theater
that.
moment in
No.
the yeah. Let it happen organically, and it doesn't need to happen for a movie to be great either.
If anything, I'd say the Batmobile is that Marvel moment with everyone cheering.
Sure, sure. The whole chase overall, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw in the trailer that he was going to go through that explosion.
Hmm.
I think the better part is how Penguin set it up.
Yeah.
How he set up the explosion, like just the way they filmed it from over his shoulder and then from behind the Batmobile really felt like a pursuit. Like you
Mhm.
felt like you were in the chase. I thought that was really well done too. And then the over shoulder penguin thing was track mounted filming too, or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Um So yeah, the music is great. The score is fantastic. It was really well done. Everybody's themes were really well done. Um, I I could listen to that Nirvana song forever. And I will do it while I try to investigate murders in my city. Um, I'm not actually going to do that, so or will I? Um, I did see one TikTok that said, "Mom and Dad, I saw the Batman, and I now I want to be the Batman when I grow up." So I'm sorry. And then he shoots them both. uh, like,
Oh,
like
it's
that's
terrible. It's funny.
it's a little dark, and Batman wouldn't do that.
No.
They did make mention, or Batman made sure to mention, I don't use guns, and we're not using guns. And then Gordon's like, "That's how you operate. I'm
Yeah.
using my gun." uh, I want to ask you about particular scene in this movie when I think everybody in the theater thought Catwoman was about to die,
Oh,
and
like when they're on top of
the
the
scaffolding,
yeah. I thought she was gonna
and
die too, or get shot.
right, they have this moment. She came back, she saved him. Thought for sure she was going to get a knife in the back or something like that was going to happen. It was the perfect setup for that kind of moment
Mhm.
that is usually done by people like Stephen King and Joss Whedon and all these other writers who like to hurt their fans and viewers. But I mean, she did get attacked, and she was about to be choked to death. And Bruce, really, or Batman, had nothing left in him. He couldn't move until he injects himself in something he was prepared to. There's a hole in the suit for it. What do you think that was?
So the the comic book guy in me says Venom.
Bane's
The
venom.
Bane's Venom, but I think it's adrenaline.
That's what I think too. The only thing that's weird about it is it's green.
It is green, and that's what Venom is in the comics and
Right.
has been
I feel
accepted.
like if it had just been some vial, like it just been like a glass vial, no coloring to it.
Well, I can. Was it in his hand? Did he do it in his hand?
No, it looked like it was in his leg.
Okay.
Like he had like opened a little pocket in his leg.
Yeah, yeah. I could see it not. I could see why it's there and not in his chest because body armor. It'd be
Mhm.
pretty hard to stick a needle through. So, but yeah, no, I think it's even adrenaline. I think is a weird placement for that. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say adrenaline until the director comes out and says no, that's Venom.
Yeah, I
He
have no
found it.
reason. Yeah, I have no reason to believe it's that other than like you said, the comic book guy in me.
Yeah.
Um,
Which there is. I mean, Batman has taken Venom before.
sure.
It was a precursor to the Nightfall series, which is
It
how
could
he
be
became Bane.
it could just all be this thing of this is how he's surviving being an insomniac.
Mm-hmm.
That this
Because
is he needs.
even when he's Bruce and when he first wakes up after that night of being Batman, he's wearing glasses. He's wearing sunglasses in Wayne
Yeah, yeah.
Tower.
He puts them on. Yeah, right.
He's looking at it, and I'm like,
Uh,
oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. You're a nocturnal animal.
yeah, yeah. The sun sucks, man.
No, yeah, it does.
All right, and then finally, before we wrap things up, Barry Keegan, who was long since meant to be a police officer in the credits. That's all we were told he
And
was going to be.
there were
Um,
set photos of him as a police officer.
right. Yes, talking to Robert Pattinson
Yep,
at the funeral, I think.
yep.
Yeah. But no, in the credits, he's unseen Arkham prisoner who, in the original script, Batman would visit in jail to get his insights into what the Riddler was doing, a la Silence of the Lambs with Clarice and
Hannibal.
Hannibal Lecter. But they cut that out,
Mm,
which I think is fine.
yeah,
I don't mind that. The less Joker we get now is fine. Just keep teasing him for all I care.
keep
So it
teasing
leads a
him.
lot of
Yeah, set it up for the war of jokes and riddles.
right, which I feel like does not need to be the sequel. The second movie does not need to be a Joker movie. We don't need to use the same formula. In fact, I think Matt Reeves says if he can figure out a way to make it grounded, he wants to do a Mr. Freeze story. Um,
That's me. That's grounded right there. Have him
well,
have
the
him with
character
Nora.
Mr. Freeze is not a grounded character.
Well,
It's a little fantastical for the world he's created so far.
so is a man dressed as a bat.
No, this is a man surviving with a glass helmet on his head. Come on, you know what I'm saying?
I know.
And I wouldn't also mind it being a Poison Ivy movie, because you're not probably gonna have the Catwoman in the sequel. She's gonna probably take a break,
Mhm.
and return at a different time, probably when Batman needs her the most, I would imagine. Um, but if you get into the War of Riddles and Jokes, that's when she returns, and then after that is when we get the wedding storyline. If I remember my Tom King chronological order.
I think, or it was Bruce talking to Selena about the War of Jokes and Riddles at that time.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's Tom King, right? That's not Snyder.
Yeah, no, that's Tom King.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Um,
it was at that DC Rebirth or Universe Rebirth.
right, right. Um, if you haven't read any of these, check them out. The War of Riddles and Jokes is great. It's basically just Riddler and the Joker going to town on Gotham, kind of going back and forth. Um,
Back and forth, and they both want Batman on their side.
right. Oh, the other Easter egg was Hush, and that's
Edward
that
Elliot.
Edward Elliot was a reporter that was blackmailing Thomas Wayne about the information he had about his wife and her being crazy and the family and everything like that. And it's clearly an Easter egg. So Hush is actually, I mean, I don't want to ruin it for you. The story is fantastic,
Mhm.
but Hush is actually Tommy Elliott. That's a lifelong childhood friend of Bruce Wayne, who it likely would not be if they did this version of Hush that they're doing now. Um,
Oh no.
it wouldn't make sense. But um, when they show this picture of as Eddie Elliott, I think,
Eddie Edward, yeah.
yeah, something like that. When they show it, there's Hush written on it, and then obviously it's talking about Hush money, paying
Mhm.
this guy to be quiet. But it's clearly a nod. Whether it's a nod that they're going to pay off remains to be seen. This guy could blame Bruce for the death of his father, and he has this lifelong vengeance that he's going to commit on. Which Hush would be a tough story to tell without doing it the way they did it in the books, with basically every villain in every main villain in Bruce's arsenal is after him at one point or another, because he's trying to narrow him down. He's trying to figure out who Hush is,
Mhm.
because Hush has so much knowledge of him. You know, it couldn't possibly be the resurgence of your best friend Thomas Elliot, who just showed back up in town as this master surgeon. Can't possibly be him.
No.
World's greatest detective. But it's a great book. Go pick it up. Hush.
I'm the world's greatest detective. All right.
uh, plus, it's the best artist, Jim Lee.
Jim
In
Lee.
Hush.
Who wrote the book? Why am I thinking Frank Miller?
Oh
No,
no,
he
no, it
did.
was not
No,
him.
that was All Star Batman and Robin.
Yeah, which is good. Yeah, with Jim Lee. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not Jeff Johns, is it? No,
it might be.
I'm looking at it right now. I just can't
Jeff
see
Leb.
Jeff Loeb. Okay,
Jeff Loeb,
okay,
Jim Lee, and
Jeff,
Scott Williams did the
which
inking.
which makes sense because this movie was uh, took nods from The Long Halloween, and Jeff Loeb wrote that book with Tim Sale
Hmm.
as the artist.
And then what's his name? Reeves said he listened to Nirvana the whole time he wrote it,
Yeah,
which could make anybody go a little mad.
yeah. I mean that song worked. I thought they were just going to keep it for the trailer. No, they kept it in the movie too.
Yeah, it fit.
Yeah.
It was well
Did
done.
Did you see any shots from any of the trailers that didn't make it into the film?
I have to go back and look. I don't think
I
so.
I I think this is one of the very few movies where they've shown everything from the trailers, everything that made it into the movie.
Can you imagine this movie with Jonah Hill being either Riddler or Penguin?
God no.
That's the original casting.
No. Maybe was this for like Ben Affleck's Batman
No,
or for Matt Reeves?
this is for Matt Reeves.
No.
Matt Reeves was saying he was writing this for Pattinson.
Yes, he did have him in mind for it. Jonah Hill. No. I mean, I liked Colin Farrell did great as the Penguin for what we needed in the movie. It's going to be a lot of work for this series for him to be Penguin. I think.
Yeah. Zoe Kravitz was turned down to be Catwoman in Batman Dark Knight Returns.
Really?
Said she was too urban. That doesn't age well.
Ooh, no, especially when Eartha Kent was a Catwoman.
And you recognize the one face painted gangster kid that was hesitant, right?
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
I was making sure because you didn't really react. I'm like,
Oh no,
that's
no, no.
Tim Drake.
I reacted. I think I pointed and you didn't do
Okay,
anything.
I must not have seen it. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I showed my friend that picture and a picture of him with Titans, and he's like, "Is that supposed to be Tim Drake?" I go, "It is Tim Drake."
Yeah, he filmed it a year before filming Titans.
Yeah. Well, see him in his Robin costume, please. Season 4.
Jeez. So yeah, we don't have any confirmation of what the sequel is going to be. We don't have confirmation that there is going to be a sequel, but we can assume that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we are getting the Penguin series spinoff as well as the Arkham. Remains to be seen if we're going to get that, but that's announced as an option
Mm-hmm.
that they're pursuing. Where do you see a sequel going? If you go by the comic books, there's a couple options.
I'm looking. No Man's Land would be probably my best guess, especially with what happened at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking. Battle for the Cowl is too much. Yeah, it has to be No Man's Land. Hush would be great, but again, you need all the villains. You need a Tommy Elliott, and you need that story to make sense within this movie series.
I feel like Hush would be its own trilogy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And for those that want the Joaquin Phoenix Joker to be part of this universe, just stop.
Please no.
Just is its own thing. Let's just leave that alone. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to begin speculating yet. I just want to enjoy it now.
Mm-hmm.
To be perfectly honest, could be a lot of things, but yeah, right now I just want to enjoy where we are in the moment. So yes, that is our review. What did you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Let us know on social media at Atomic Geekdom on all the social medias. You can find us. We are on TikTok now. I don't know if I'll have any TikToks from this podcast, but going forward in the future, we're going to cut some of these up a little bit and have some fun with TikTok eventually. And hopefully we'll be able to make TikToks once we start going to conventions and stuff again. We'll be able to do some cool, fun stuff. From there, Kyle, if people want to find you or you have things to plug, all that stuff.
You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/kkrause89. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at KyleKrause89. My YouTube, where I've been posting my YouTube vids from. Ooh, that's not me. From Backcraft. Managed by my channel. Here it is. It is just youtube.com/Kyle Krause, apparently. So that's that. There we go.
There you go. All right. We will be back next week, I believe. I don't know what we'll be talking about, or it might just be a geek out. I do have some feelers out for an interview or two. So maybe we'll do that. But right now, there's that. Things are crazy in the world. Stop fighting with each other. Just start understanding each other more. It's even crazier than it has been. We thought 2020 and 2021 were bad. Now we're in a war. So just keep the Ukrainian people in your thoughts and minds as things progress. Stop, kind of bitching about gas prices. It's going to suck for a while. But this happens. It's not the first time we've gone through this. Yes, it's higher than it's ever been, but we'll survive. Maybe we don't go for that drive to somewhere and we stay home instead. Make a little bit of sacrifices. We've done it in the past. We'll do it again.
Mm-hmm.
The main focus right now is that people are being kicked out of their homes. They're dying. These kinds of things. So just kind of keep thinking about that and enjoy your life too as best you can. Even if you have to stay home instead of going out, do something that is fun. Play a video game, watch a movie, read a book, spend time with your animals or your children's, who could also be considered animals. Um, but have some fun, find some joy in your day. I'm gonna try to do that as soon as I hang this phone call up. This phone call, this podcast, and this podcast. I'm gonna make some comfort food and relax and watch more of the Wheel of Time. I think it's called.
That's yep. That's
I'm on episode 2. No, episode 3 of that. I'm enjoying that. I'm also watching Enterprise, trying to get caught up on that. I'm on season 4 of that.
of Star Trek Enterprise with Bakula.
Discovery. Sorry.
Oh, Discovery.
Yes, I'm gonna get caught up on Discovery. I want to watch Picard, but I really wanted to watch TNG first, but I can't get through the first season of TNG. It's so hard.
I'm sure there's guides out there that just tell you the episodes that you need to watch. I
I
feel
know, but I went through DS9 and I went through Voyager, and I had such a good time watching all those shows.
hmm
And then I get to TNG, and I'm like, first season is so hard because they just could not find their footing. And I get it; it's hard.
hmm
It's their first attempt after Kirk and all that, so it's like it's tough. Very different captain, very different crew, all that all that stuff. So like I get it, and even I think the beginning of season 2 is tough too. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know. I might just start Picard because I really want to see how and why he's hanging out with Seven of Nine and all that stuff.
Oh, you haven't even watched the first season.
No, I haven't. I mean, no. I remember
Oh,
being at Comic Con when they were first announcing it and seeing all the Picard banners and stuff everywhere.
oh well,
Uh,
you're in for a ride. I can tell you that much.
yeah, I mean, spoilers for Discovery if you haven't gotten to season 4. I kind of felt like they were going to go to the future. And I
Season 3.
that's the end of season 3.
That's the end of season 2.
No, it's the end of
Yeah,
season 3, I think.
I don't know. End of season 2, they go to the future. They go into the wormhole. Beginning of season 3 is where they're in the 31st century.
So then there's only 4 seasons out.
Yep, fourth season is the current one right now.
Okay. Well, then there you go. Whatever. So beginning of season 3, I'm on episode 3.
Okay.
Directed by Jonathan Frakes.
Ah, yes.
Where worlds are colliding. Yeah, I knew that they would end up in the future. I kind of figured they'd be displaced, but it's only a year. I thought she'd be apart from them longer. I thought they revealed that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
you'll see.
the two-parter is separated by episodes, several episodes. So the Hope is You is
Yeah.
the premiere part 1, and the Hope is You part 2. I'm assuming they're going to talk about the year that we missed.
hmm
Um, Potentially in those 2 episodes. I'm guessing anyway. Yeah, I'm enjoying a lot of these characters, and by the time I get done with season 3, season 4 will be all available for me.
Yep.
And then I can watch Picard, and then I'll be ready for
Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds. Yeah, with Rebecca Romaine is number 1, right? It's called number 1.
Yep. She's number 1.
Yeah, good stuff. Star Trek. Um, I did think it was funny when they announced a bunch of Paramount stuff that the cast of Star Trek, the movies, didn't even know they were making another one.
Yeah, that was fun.
That kind of
That was
that's
fun
gotta
because that's like,
it's gotta
ooh, new.
right. Right. Oh, Strange New Worlds has a second season already. Hasn't even aired the first season, but all right.
Well, I mean, Picard got a third season after the first one, so it got 2 seasons.
So this is their current slate of shows: Star Trek Prodigy, which is looks like Janeway.
Yeah, it's got
It's a
Janeway as like a
cartoon.
hologram.
Oh, okay. And Discovery, Picard, Strange New Worlds, and then Lower Decks, which I watched the first episode of Lower Decks. I think it's pretty funny. I don't mind that. What is this? Oh, okay. So it's scheduled for the next 6 months of. Let's see. So where are we? We're on March 10th. Discovery, season 4, episode 12, and Picard, episode 2, season 2. And next week is the finale of Discovery. And on the same day as the finale of Picard is the premiere of Strange New Worlds.
Oh. Yay, that.
And that special, they're doing 5 seasons. Okay, they already got approved for the 5th season Discovery, which will be in 2023 of 10 episodes. Prodigy season 1.5. Why?
I don't know.
All right, we'll be back soon. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching along live if you were here. Sorry for my lack of energy. I am, like I say, very tired and not in the greatest of moods, but the Batman is great. Go watch it, enjoy it. Most people, I'd say like 90% of people are enjoying it. And if you're more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy, that's fine. Stay in your lane and let those people who enjoy this enjoy it, and you enjoy yours. And yeah, my Twitch is twitch.tv/DJ Clark21. I am going to be starting Elden Ring very soon. I want to be able to sit down and just play it with no distractions, and I also want to get past the create a character portion off stream because that can take forever. So I want to do that first, probably Friday after work, and then we'll stream it Saturday, I think. But yeah, we're gonna do that, and then I am not getting WWE 2K22 because
Why not? It looks so much. It looks so good.
it looks good. But the reviews I'm seeing say it's not much different than 19.
Yeah, there was.
But better than 20.
Yeah,
but better than 20
today.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I watch a guy who does the superstar career mode thing, so I'll just figure I'll see the cutscenes from that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going the route I would, which is heel route. So I will not be doing that this time around. I'm hoping they get it together soon. I was real hopeful because they had a pretty good announcement of things that they're adding, like the GM mode got revamped and all that good stuff. But like, I don't know, it's not enough for me to buy just to play the NWO and Rey Mysterio things, which are fun. I like those modes, but I think the Undertaker has one too, or is it just maybe it's just character skins? Yeah. So yeah. What else? That's all. All right. I need to get some energy. I haven't eaten all day. It's time to eat. And you guys all take care of each other. Be good. Thanks for stopping by, Kyle. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.